Aquarius, my genius air sign friends. All the air signs are witty, but Aquarius are really like the rocket scientist types. It's kind of interesting how rocket science became the whole like, oh yeah, they're really thinkers. It's a lot harder to invent things than to be a rocket scientist. And Aquarians are true inventors. Welcome to Osirian Rivers. We're going to blend rune stones and oracle cards to bring you your message. I don't even know if I should put this up as your main message, because this to me is the Aquarian card. Like, this dude basically shows up knowing the future to this swanky New York party, and they're like, how did this guy even get in here? How does he know these things? Who invited you? Why are you dressed like this? We're all going to be wearing whatever an Aquarius wears in a couple years, because your instincts are on point, and by the time the rest of the world catches up with you, you're on to the next thing. Okay, so Aquarius, this is your oracle message for February 2020, urging you to speak with great tact and diplomacy, because I always think of Aquarius as like the clouds, rain clouds. They can bring life-giving rain. They can also bring hurricanes and lightning bolts. So your instincts that you get, the wisdom that you have, and who you choose to share it with, you also need to take into consideration how it's received. And the rune for you guys is signals. So we are headed for a retrograde. Actually, give me a second. I want to... Oh, I don't have those charts with me right now. Well, I'm really just a hobby astrologer. Anyways, I'm going to stick with what I know. What I know is that this symbol right here is signals, or Loki, trickster signals, hermetic alchemy, like messages, sending and receiving messages, the downloads that you're getting from your divine, authentic self, the unique weirdo that's inside you, guiding you and driving you and propelling you forwards, is letting you know there are some messages that you have for those around you, and people are hearing them and they're really considering them, which can be a great, amazing thing, especially when you're showing up and people are confused. I feel like Aquarians get one or the other, where people like to put you up on a pedestal or treat you like you don't know what you're doing. And you definitely do know what you're doing. The way that it comes across and the messages that you have to give people can perpetuate that dynamic. And this is my belief, is that all of us are equal, different, diverse. What we give and what we get, and like, it might not really make sense to say equal, because we're not equal in all regards, But we are also all equal in all regards, if that makes sense. It's like the whole rock, paper, scissors game, where it's only when we're looking at small picture comparisons and trying to like one up one another instead of going for our intrinsic value. What comes naturally to you doesn't come naturally to other people. So when you're trying to explain to them and tell them something that you know is true, remember that it's your perception of the truth, because you could stand to hurt somebody with your words if you aren't careful, when you're actually, your instinct is telling you to show up and help those people. Because people tend to forget, Aquarius is the humanitarian. They really do care. It just comes off in a way that's difficult for people to accept. So when you get a message or you have a message to give, take it with a grain of salt, give it with a spoonful of sugar. Glean what you can from the messages that you're receiving right now and view it through the lens of instinct, of what naturally feels good to you, instead of the higher mind, the logical mind, trying to reason out why someone's saying what they're saying. I really love that Aquarians are not just going to assume the reasons behind what people say to them. You know, when an Aquarian asks you for clarifiers, like, they're putting it together. That's when they're really piecing things together. But they're not out there to assume. And then when they have something to say, they know the picture because they've asked the clarifying questions and put the pieces together nicely. And their truth, when they share it with others, is beautiful. However, that truth has to be received. Otherwise, it doesn't have anywhere to go. It can actually wind up alienating you or putting you in a box where people are like, oh, if only I could just take their advice, you know, like, or maybe they just see you as too harsh. Like, you had to say something to someone who violated your boundary and you just came off way too harsh for them. They couldn't handle it. So then the problem didn't get fixed and you have to rework it. Okay, Aries? So now's not really a time to get super defensive about things. Stay vulnerable. I'm not even going to tell you keep an open mind. That's just impossible for an Aquarius to get too closed-minded, because they see with such broadness, you know, from up in the clouds. Yeah, I think that your message, February 2020, is watching your words. People are listening to you. And keeping your ears clean, you know? Interpreting what you hear in the best light possible. And when it doesn't feel good, sort of being like, what? And turning away from that. Thank you so much, Aquarius listeners. Like, share, subscribe, and you can email me to book a private reading at osirianrivers@gmail.com. I'll see you soon.